about the Broncos. We didn't talk about the Nuggets. We didn't talk about diamond rings and cars. We didn't talk about, sometimes he would talk about the menu, but that was just briefly. Because we will always find a scripture to tie it to. He satisfies our mouth with good things. Hallelujah. He prepares a table for us in the presence of our enemies. Amen. In the last couple of years, I'm getting ready to take my seat. In the last couple of years, mostly what we talked about was his book. He asked me if I would write the foreword for the book. Never got a chance to write it, but I'll stand up here and give honor to whom honor is due today. Amen. That was my brother. The book was about seeds. He was obsessed with it. Sometimes I had to straighten him out on the theology or argue about the theology or certain things about the seed, but boy, we can find the seed in almost everything. And that was a great joy to me and to him. He would call sometimes Joyce on the telephone and we would talk about that as long as we could. And he would say, well, I got to go now. Got some business in front of me I have to take care of. My last memories, and then I'll take my seat. I visited with him in the hospital several times in the last couple of weeks. And on my last visit, when I opened the hospital room door, his eyes were closed and he was laying in the bed and he was resting. And I said to myself, I'm going to tiptoe in here because I didn't want to disturb him. So I walked softly across his bed, sat down in a chair that was right there next to the bed, and I began to pray. And I must have sat there 10 or 15 minutes, and I was trying to pray quietly and softly. And the Spirit of the Lord began to come upon me as I ran out of things to say to God. So I would pray in the Spirit, and then I would pray with my understanding. When I ran out of things, I'd pray in the Spirit, and then I would pray with my understanding. I wanted to make the time fruitful and productive as I could. I began to pray, and I turned my head, and Evis's eyes were open. And I saw his lips moving. And I don't know how long, but he had been praying with me. There are some people, when you come to the memorial service, you don't know where they are or what happened. But I like what the man of God said. He's not lost. We know where Evis is today. Glory to God. There was ever anyone. I mean, God, we look at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart. But if there's anyone that we can be 99.9% sure of where he's at today, and he would not come back, amen. Even if he had the opportunity today, because he's in a better place. He's resting now. He's not suffering anymore. He's not hurting anymore. Glory to God. He's not weak anymore. Thank you, Jesus. He's delivered from his labors. Like the Salvation Army said, I like the way they say it. He's received his promotion. Hallelujah. And left us down here to labor so that we might make it where he is. And he stretched his hand out to me in the bed. And I said, brother, don't stretch your hand out. Don't waste any of your energy, any of your strength. Save it for getting up. And he didn't say anything. He complied. Dropped his arm. We prayed together. We sung high song. And as I left out the room, Joyce, I looked back and I said, I see you, brother. And he lifted up his hands and he started praising God. That is my last earthly memory with the strength that he had. He said, I'm going to praise my God. He fought a good fight. Hallelujah. He stood, glory to God, on the word of God. And standing is not a physical position. You can be standing in your bed. You can be standing in the hospital. He was standing. But he mustered the strength to lift his hands and praise God. And that was my last memory. So family, our hearts go out to you. You can be proud of your husband, of your father, of your grandfather, of your brother. You can be very, very proud. I'm reminded of John chapter 12 where Jesus said, except the seed fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it falls in the ground, comes to fruition, it can bear much fruit. So y'all be encouraged. We love y'all. We are here for y'all. Amen. Honor to you, Evis, today. I know you're not here, but honor to you. This service is about you, to give honor to you and honor to the God you serve and that we serve and that we love. Those are I couldn't write the foreword, but those are my last words, brother. I'll see you on the other side.
Praise God. Whenever you can have that witness, that is the witness and testimony you want in your life. Amen? That every person with a clear conscience can say, he was a man of God and he's deposited that in your life. Amen? A beautiful testimony. Amen? And at this time, we will have special remarks from the family, from his sons specifically. And so I would call up his sons to come and say some words. Amen? And so it's a beautiful thing, not only that you have a testimony from friends, but a huge testimony from your children. So praise God. Amen.
Thank you for everybody coming out. We appreciate all your love and support. This is a hard time, and we really do love Pop so much. I'm trying not to cry too much. Pops. So mainly what I put together is just something I want to say to Evis. I'm just trying to get together. So, first, Evis Robinson was my pops, my father, my parent, my friend. And it's so hard to say goodbye or show expressions to somebody who meant so much to you and has always been there for you from the first day you met him. Pops, I want you to know how much I love you. You are the perfect blessing in my life. You are the man that, in spite of all your personal challenges, you were able to raise a blended family with real love and values, and to also show us those values in the Lord, as everyone spoke. I thank you for always being supportive of me as a child, as we were kids, and even as adults. Pops, I watch you treat everyone with the utmost respect, always. I've never seen anyone more kind, meek, and slow to anger than you. I've seen you fight for what you believed in. I got to see a man with principle. I got to see a man, how a man should live with principle. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you telling me about your spiritual studies. I'm going to miss trying to beat you in chess. I couldn't even beat him when he was sick. I studied every YouTube video, it didn't work. I'm going to miss talking to you about business. I'm going to miss your laugh. I'm going to miss your wisdom. I want you to know this hurts, but like everyone said, I know where you are. And I thank you that you set the path so we know how to get to where you are. And that's huge. I want you to know how thankful I am for you and that your life mattered to me and my family. Pops, I want you to know I will take care of our mom. I will continue to be there for David and his family, Damone and Christian, and that we will always have unconditional love and support for our sister. Thank you.
I'm going to try to make this a little simple, a little short. I am Chris, I'm the oldest. I'm the one that was adopted, everybody. But if you put Evis and Joyce together, you probably get me. So yes, I am that one. My times has always been good with Evis. Mom can contest to that. I always had a great time with him, always joke with him. Talk deep. We talked about spiritual things as well. And then I look at him, and if you don't mind me saying that, I look like I could be his son, his biological son. So we used to laugh at that a lot. How this family blended together, and they let me in. I'm thankful for that, Mom. I'm stay here. Nephews, so I gotta be there for them. I'm gonna be there for Mom, and thank you, Evis, for showing me how to be a better man. And I will continue to try to get better because I'm a little wild boy, and we're gonna get there. But thank you, and thank you, Mom.
Believe it or not, I didn't think I would have the courage to come up here to say anything. Pops, you meant a lot to me. We spent so much time together. He taught me a lot. He taught me how to be a man. He taught me, things that, to get me through, even tough times in my life. You know, when I know I can speak to somebody without any adjustment, I can speak to him. And he will always have something powerful, something positive to say about any situation, you know, we was going through, or even as a family. And that helped me a lot, you know, to becoming the man that I am today. You know, I'm probably one of the laid back, don't say much kind of person. You know, I'm always, you know, try to be as positive and talk me positive. You know, not to have the stress of life to weigh on myself. And I appreciate him from the bottom of my heart. I mean, that man means so much to me. He means so much to me. I mean, no words, no nothing can describe how much I love him and how much I adore him. You know, I mean, he never looked at us as a stepchild. He never looked at us as that means a lot because there was no separation. You know, when there's a separation, there is, you know, that creates problems, but there was no separation. He never looked at we was, like I said, step, and that meant a lot. That meant a lot. You know, to have that type of male figure that I know that I can, you know, come to, talk to, and just share life experience. And the thing is, I still need him today. I still need him today. You know, the only way I can probably reach to him is pray. You know, but I know that he left a little something for us all. And everybody that he shared, everybody has a piece of him because he was special. He was very special. And I can't believe, like I said, I said he's not lost, but I just can't believe that he is not here. But I do trust that he's in a special place. And I know that because of the man that he is. You know, I can share stories. You know, as I was a young man, I used to, you know, go out, have fun, come strolling in, 5 o'clock in the morning, think I'm going to bed. No, he'll knock on my door. We going to man's prayer. Let's go. I'm like, really? I ain't up for this right now. No. But guess what? He made sure that he got me there. And now I understand why he did that. He was feeding to me. He was nourishing me. And also preparing me for such moments like this, where it's hard. So I thank everyone, I thank the family, friends for coming out and celebrating his life with us. We do appreciate him in this hard time. But it is also a special time. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Again, thank y'all very much for coming. I didn't write something up. It's probably one of the hardest speeches I've ever written, to be truthful. But before I get started here, I want to thank Pastor Michael, Pastor Roland, Pastor David over here for not ceasing church. We got the whole facility for free. No charge, no nothing. That's really unheard of. So if y'all could do us a favor, go to the Church and City's website or have any cash, just donate something to them as a token of our appreciation. Everything you see, they just donate. Phenomenal pastor. I learned more about Pastor Michael, one of the funniest pastors you will ever meet. He looks serious. He's not that serious at all. Hilarious. Pastor David, I've been knowing for a mighty long time, and he actually introduced me to Pastor Broom which would ironically become one of my closest friends, like brothers. It's truly a blessing how God works, so thank y'all very much. So every time I start a speech, I always start with the scripture, which is, teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law? Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. And the law and the prophets, or the Tanakh, hang on these two commandments alone. My perspective on pretty much everything's going to be a little bit different. I've been with my dad for a long time. And I don't like to say this word at all, but it's passing on my biological son, so I get to see things from a whole nother angle. It's kind of crazy, like these last couple of weeks, I feel like there's been a lot of unnecessary tension. I felt like I've been kind of playing a game of tug of war, to be truthful. But nonetheless, I'm going to kind of start my speech here. I titled it, Who is Evis Robinson? Through the lens of David Evis Robinson. So I met Evis Robinson, my dad, 1984. That was the year I was born. I can't get you before that. So I didn't know that. 1984, my dad had a fro. But it was weird because you guys know he had a boss body here. I'm not sure if you guys realize that he has a boss body. You know, shake it. When I met him, he had a fro and he always had his boss body. I was like, why you got a fro and you got a boss? It just looked weird, but he didn't seem like he really cared. And he dressed. He dressed slick. He dressed like he came from Detroit. I mean, dude looked clean every single day. I'm something like that. He used to dress like that every single day. He was always cool. He was always chill. He worked at AT&T when I was a child. He did the graveyard shifts. And my mom, Reba Ann Robinson, her siblings called her Reba. She worked at MetLife. She worked at MetLife during the day, so that's how they kind of took care of me. I remember going to my dad's job, and they told me that my dad falls asleep all the time. He was not a night person. It was the worst thing ever. Like, he worked graveyards. He wasn't a night person, so he would snore on a job a lot. And they were, just talking about him. He was a huge snorer. I think I am too. My wife would probably know better than I can. But we had a cat named Snoopy, which is weird because a lot of people know me. I'm not a pet person at all. But I love Snoopy. Snoopy was my cat. My mom worked at MetLife, and I don't know if you guys know this, but their mascot for a long time was the Peanuts. So that's why my cat was named Snoopy. Snoopy. So ironically, Snoopy was a girl because she had a ton of babies. I didn't know that. So we got rid of the kittens, and one day I woke up. I was like, Snoopy wasn't home. I was like, Daddy, where's Snoopy at, Daddy? He said, Snoopy ran away. Well, I find out years later, he actually gave Snoopy up. See, I'll tell you about the love my parents have for me. My mom loved me so much. She was allergic to cats. So being around Snoopy made her eyes run and nose. She was heavily allergic to pets in general. And I had never knew that. And she dealt with it for me. So it was a pretty amazing thing. One other thing from my childhood is his laugh. I used to be so annoyed when I was a little kid. I couldn't stand it. I was like, this thing is annoying and it's a little embarrassing. Dad, what are you doing? Little did I know when I grow up, I'll have a very simple laugh. God has a funny way of being a little jokester. He used to carry my shoulders a lot, and I really enjoyed. I know this sounds weird for those who probably didn't have a chance to experience this. And one thing I'm very, very fortunate was when he kissed me, you could feel the facial hair rub against your cheek. And as weird as that seems to sound as a guy, that made my day. That was like one of the best kisses I have ever seen in my life. On my dad's days off, back in those days, he would enjoy his time with us. You know, I remember calling his arm. He would drink beer. He wouldn't drink wine. He was like more of an occasional drinker, but he would drink beer in pig feet. That was just like gold thing. Like, I don't know if you guys ever seen pig feet with like the vinegar in it. Yeah, it was kind of disgusting. For some odd reason, he loved that stuff. It was like his thing. He did it a lot. And one other special time in my life that I really, really cherish and I really miss a lot, we were in Detroit all the time. We flew out there so much in the 80s. I remember seeing my dad's side, my mom's side, my grandma, cousin, uncles, aunts. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating, but I feel like that was like my second home. Even today, when I see Detroit in the news, I always kind of see what's going on. And sometimes I talk about Detroit like I'm from there. I got back up and went earlier, like, oh, I ain't from there, he's from there, but you know, I get passionate about it because obviously two of my favorite people, they came from Detroit. So we had a really good time. I'm not going to paint us as a picture-perfect family, but the three of us, we love each other. I love my mommy, I love my daddy. They love me. We loved all our families. 1990 would come, and 1990 would be the start, the biggest change in my life. And I don't know if it was in his life, but I'm pretty sure it was up there. See, 1990, my mom was pregnant with with my sister Keela. And I remember when she was pregnant, I was talking to my mom. I was like, Mommy, I want a brother. She's like, no, it's going to be a girl. We're going to have a sister named Keela. I said, I want a brother. We would argue back. You know, I don't know if you guys have like little ones. If you ever have little ones, you know, kids ask the same damn question. You can't kind of, you know, like, I'm kind of irritated. But I think she kind of got that way. But she had some pretty good patience with me. But she would have a daughter in June. And my dad and my mom would pick up the phone and they would call all their friends back home in Detroit. The both of them, I didn't know this for a long time, but the both of them had reached out to their family back home as well as their friends. Sorry, I gotta get to the story my best I can because there's a lot of stuff that happened that was really pivotal in my life and probably very touching. I'm going to Detroit real fast. I got to give a shout out real fast. Some of my best cousins I remember playing with was Lenny, Landon, Early, and Tiffany. Though I haven't seen Tiffany since I was a little child. But those were the crew that we used to hang out with back in the day. All right, so we went to 1990. 10 hours later, my mom would pass. Unexpectedly. My father had to pick up the phone, he had to call all his family members. My grandma, even to her dying days, mentioned Reba and how great that woman was. But it had never occurred to me, because it hit me so hard, how it affected everyone around me, including my father. And I began to realize he had to do something else that was very hard, and probably one of the most difficult things he ever did in his life. He had to call her two brothers and her sister. Not only that, he had to call her mother to try to explain, as frantic as he was, as scared and lost as he was, that their daughter has passed away. Very tough time for him. As I explained this story, something beautiful did come out of it as far as action-wise though. A couple days later, my Aunt Debbie, my Aunt Virginia, my Uncle Preston, who was my mom's brother, flew out to Denver from Detroit. They loved on him. My Virginia recently assured me that was the roughest week she ever had in her entire life. So what they had to do, not only did they have to plan a funeral, which is very tough to do, there's a lot of emotions, but they had to figure out a way to take care of the paperwork at the hospital. This is pre-computers, pre-internet, pre-cell phones, pre-social media. My Aunt Virginia went down with my dad to the hospital, help him out and get Cuba. So from Denver, they planned the memorial service for my mom back in Detroit. We flew on the plane, and by the way, I did give a lot of respect to my family members, so I did not know my mom was dead at that time. The same plane that we flew on from Denver to Detroit, my mom was on her body. I had never knew that. We go back to Detroit. My Aunt Debbie looks over me and baby Cuba. I didn't go to the funeral service again because I didn't know. They did a good job of waiting until we got back home. My dad told me, which was one of the worst days of my life, to be truthful. But after Aunt Debbie looked after us, she had to go to work. They were very young. They know what they were doing, truthful. They're very young. So they split it up who would take care of myself and my sister. Keela would go to Aunt Rosine, R.I.P., and I would go live with Aunt Virginia and Uncle Tyrone. Uncle Tyrone and Aunt Virginia was very young at that time too. So Uncle Tyrone's mom would come out from Philly to come stay with us. We were out there for about 3 months. My father thought about moving back to Detroit and buying a home there. He would not. He decided he wanted to go back home to Denver where he purchased the house with him and Reba. So when we moved back, we got a couple people to help us out. Beverly, his cousin Beverly, watched me from kindergarten. And I still remember the first day my dad took me to kindergarten all the way to Clyde Miller Elementary. It was a phenomenal day. Actually, it was a sad day. I was scared. I didn't leave my dad. I actually cried in bed instead of my dad. And then cousin Nate would come over and watch us as well. And then later on, my dad would explain to me what had happened to my mother. The last time I would see anyone on that side for a mighty long time, my Aunt Debbie and Lenny, they had moved out here. And my Uncle Lenny helped pay for my first grade education. That first grade education was an extreme turning point in my life. I never became a dumb kid. I was always one of the smartest kids in my entire school because of Uncle Lenny. And I hope to God I can see him one of these days and thank him so very much for that. So I just want to thank each and every one who has helped my dad out of that very, very hard and dark times. 1992 come, my dad would marry Joyce Mills and she returned to Joyce Robinson. So I'm going to explain from my point of view as far as, how we came together here. I want to try my best. I don't know if anybody's ever remarried or joined part of a step family. The beginning is actually pretty rough. I'm just going to keep it 100. It's pretty rough. So here's what happens. My brother's here. Everyone has past memories. They have memories of what it was to be, more of like their dad used to come by. There's just different dynamics that had happened. And, you kind of look at like, that's my brother, but it's like, not really, it just feels like a very awkward dynamic. Like Damone said, I think my dad was always on board. But it just felt very, very weird. And I remember hearing phone calls between my dad and their dad. It was pretty aggressive phone calls. It was about kind of parenting. Aggressive, put it lightly, but I do remember that. And I also remember their dad picking them up. I think it was on a weekly basis. They go there, in their Jeep. And I thought Donnie was a cool dude, to be truthful. I didn't know if I should like him or not like him. I was like, I don't know if he's like my dad, but I don't know what it felt. The dude was cut up. Like, I kid you not, the dude was freaking cut up. I was like, that is crazy. Like, I've never seen a more cut up dude than this guy right here. I don't know why my dad liked challenges, but I felt like that was a great challenge to do as well because you're trying to figure out how to get through the mesh. Then about a year or two later, it happened. I want to give y'all a little secret. I want to show you how you can tell when a family is coming together and there's no one just a little separation here. You don't ask the parents. The parents won't lie to you. They don't say, oh, it's fine today, we're doing that. No, that's a lie. You watch the kids, The kids will tell you. I'll just tell you who chose for me, who made me realize that these were my brothers and my sister. Well, my sister and my sister, my brothers, and their sister and their brother. It wasn't Keelan. She was way too young, very talkative, probably. Literally, I wasn't Don Dre. Don Dre has always been my protector, big brother, voice. It's saw me cry so many times. I hate being vulnerable around this guy because I know when my dad died, I know it probably went through his mind was, oh crap, what about David? And I don't want him to think that because he's there for his family. And I know the more probably thought the same thing. I don't want them to think that. That's y'all need to give out for family. So, but I think it was awesome though for watching me cry because when we lived together, man, we were like brothers. We were like brothers, man. But anyways, going back to my story. Don Dre protected me when I always loved him to death, but it was actually the quiet brother Ramon Mills that made me realize this is my brother. We were out somewhere. It's very simple. So this is a very good story about the simple things in life. It really does make a difference. I don't know who Damone was talking to. I don't know who he talked to, brother. It was very insignificant. But he said, these are my brothers. Don Dre, David, and my little sister Keelan. That was the first time I ever heard him say that without using the word step. Wow. That's what I thought. It blew me away. This man just called me a brother. That's crazy. And sometimes I think, I was like, man, I always wanted a brother. I didn't want it this way, I didn't want to lose my mom. No offense, but I didn't want to lose my mom. Shoot, I'd rather have my mom. God, but I got brothers. And this man said it. He said, this man said, this is my little brother. And that blew me away. And from there on, it was kind of interesting because me and Keelan have always been kind of introvert growing up. I'm more like Pops growing up. And it was funny to actually see Damone and Don Dre to kind of compete with people. Even more aggressive. I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but y'all were doing it. Where people like, they don't look like y'all, or Keelan don't look like y'all. And I'll hear them get very aggressive, like, well, that's my brother, that's my sister. And it felt like it just kept getting higher and higher and higher. And then later on, when Chris came in, we had already went through the little challenge of trying to bring people together, so it was nothing, man. So I just wanted to Don Dre, Damone, and Chris, I just want to let y'all know I love y'all very much. And I'm sorry that y'all had to go through this because death sucks, to be truthful. I know we're supposed to be unhappy, we're a grudge occasion. I'm just going to keep it 100. It sucks going through this. I hate crying because I cried so much as a little kid, to be truthful. So back to my dad. So I think my dad, I know my dad actually loved Damone, Don Dre, and Chris. I saw him, I listened to him, and I know all three of them loved him just as much. Not only that, he was their hero. There was a lot of things that inspired in their lives that I know came from him. And to his grandkids, just know that a lot of things that you are being taught in your household came from Evis Ray Robinson, your grandpa. In the 2000s, my dad and I wasn't that close in adulthood, which we could have been, but we weren't. It always felt like it was a wedge between us, and I could never get too close to him. And as the wedge got wider and wider, I feel like our relationship got weaker and weaker until I just, checked in on him, just say hi, see how you doing, see what's going on. But I didn't really have a real relationship with him as an adult, to be truthful. Not the relationship that I wanted. One of my favorite memories of him in the hospital was when Keelan stepped in. Keelan had been gone for a mighty long time. And to be truthful, I'm 100% with her on her reasons behind it. His face lit up when Keelan entered into the room. And it was a very emotional moment for me to see that. It was a very emotional moment for me to get Keelan out to Detroit, to be truthful. I just wanted her to find her voice, to find who Keelan is. But he was very emotional. Another time he was emotional. The second time I see him light up, I saw him enter the room, tear not, was when Lenny entered the room. When Lenny entered the room, my dad's face lit up. He knew how close we were at one point. The last time I saw my father was his last night here. I had put two hands on him. I prayed a prayer called the Shemoni Esrei Amidah. It's a very popular Hebrew prayer. If you guys ever see the Jews going back and forth, davening at the wall in Israel, that is the prayer they're praying. So I prayed that over him. And when I finished, I did one other thing. He was on the bed, just lower than that. I got down on my knees, put my head to his chest, right there, facing. I wrapped my left arm around his body. And I just stood there, laid there hugging him. I reminisce being in his arms in the 80s as that little boy. I reminisce about the hugs he would give me, his facial hair brushing against my face. I reminisce about his kisses. I reminisce about him being on my shoulders. Evis Ray Robinson, Pops, my father, my dad. We didn't see eye to eye on a couple of issues here, but I love you. Always have and always will. Sometimes I feel like that song, the Will Smith, just the two of us, because only he, unfortunately, only he can understand fully everything I went through. Only he can understand all the pain and suffering. But you are with God in heaven. You are missed by a lot, but never forgotten. Your name will carry on. Love you. Thank you all very much for listening to me.
I just wanted to say one thing while I have the opportunity. I wanted to encourage the boys to say what they had to say. Today was the day. Amen. So when I went over there and prayed with them, just wanted to let them know that, this is your opportunity to honor Evis. And to all the old thing, no, we were not brothers. Those are brothers and sisters over there. I don't know how anybody got the wild opportunity that we were brothers. We were friends. I thank God for his friendship over the years, and I'm about to sit down because it's dangerous to have the hands of the mic to a preacher. Amen. God bless.
My name is Jerome, family friend, and I met Pops when I was in high school, about 16 years old. I moved here from California and started playing basketball with Dondre. And I'd been here all of 5 or 6 months, and Dondre invited me over to the house, hanging out with the family, and I met Mom and Pops, and it was kind of like instant. They kind of just took me in as an adopted son, and found out that they were caterers, and I love to eat. And I kind of would show up after school with Dondre or hang out weekends, wait for that invitation for dinner or see if they brought leftovers home for anything. Just like being around the family. But I'd also go to church with them every Sunday. We would go to Heritage. And I remember Pops, just being very, very in tune with his studies and in tune with the Word. But he was always quiet. He never really preached or never talked much about it. But I remember being there one night, I think it was about 17, 18 at this time. Being at the house one night, everybody was kind of sleeping. And Pops gets up and he puts a DVD in. And it was a Buddhist DVD. And I'm kind of sleepy and I'm looking, I'm like, what is this? Is he like changing religions? And so I jokingly go over to him and say, well, you want to become a monk now? And he looks at me and says, I may not agree with every religion out there, but I like to study. And you can learn something from every religion. said there's pieces you can take from them and from people you just meet. He said sometimes you just need to listen. And 17, 18, I was like, what is he talking about? That's all he said. Must have been about 7, 8 years later. I was in my mid-20s. And I just remember being upset over something with someone. And instead of flying out the handle, I just kind of calmed down. And those words that Pop said that day into my mind was like, just be quiet, listen. And it saved me from having an issue or getting some sort of argument or even possibly even going to jail for fighting or whatever. But it was lessons like that he seemed to give each one of us, each one of his kids, each one of the guys that he met. It was never preachy, never long-winded, just hit you a little bit every now and then. You just had to listen. So I just want to thank Pops for words like that and for impacting my life. And I love the family. Thank you guys.
Amen. So at this time, we have Miss Joyce Robinson, his wife. Amen. Amen.
Greetings, love, light, and peace, everyone. It is an honor to be here to celebrate the love, the light, and the life of my cousin, Evis Robinson. My name is Dr. Kimberly Matlock Campbell, and I'm Evis's cousin from Detroit, and I'm here representing the Matlock family, as well as my 2 children, Kiana and Kari Campbell, who Evis has been a great mentor to as well as the family of Mayella Teal in Detroit as well. Mayella was mentioned as one of the Detroit members, one of the members of the Detroit village that came in when Reba died. So I'm here to share and to celebrate a few words, and I'm going to organize my thoughts. I'm going to title it Evis's Lab of Light, because just as my amazing cousin, Dr. Rosemary, said, I'm here to celebrate, and he was such a light, and I'm happy to celebrate and reflect on that light. So the lab is going to refer to the L for light, the A for allowing, and the B for bravery. And these are going to capture my core thoughts about my cousin, Evis Robinson. First of all, Evis is light and reflected that light. Our connection in every single way, regardless of the actions, the events, or activities that we participated in, Evis always paid attention to not only what he was doing, but how he was doing it and who he was being as he did it. He allowed his light to shine through, whether he's catering, whether he's studying, whether he's asking me to help him organize the thoughts for his book, Education, which I definitely hope continues to grow and manifest as a book. Regardless of the activity, our main connection was our energetic light and love for others. So I first want to acknowledge the light of Evis Robinson. While I'm from Detroit and I'm from his Detroit family, I actually was in his sister's, the flower girl, in his sister Regina's wedding. So Evis and I had family activities together, but I did not connect with the light of my cousin Evis until many years later in 2005 when I relocated to Denver, Colorado. When I relocated to Denver, Colorado, I had no idea of the gem that would be uncovered, and the bond that the seed had been planted for me to bond and connect with the light of Evis Robinson. So he and his family, his wife Joyce Robinson, they literally just accepted me and my family from day one, always cooked for us, always called us, invited us to dinner, included us in some of their catering activities, and just supported me through all that happened in my life during the time that I lived here in Colorado. So the light of Evis reminds me of the scripture, let there be light. The second part of that well-known sentence, let there be light, is, let there be light, and what's the rest? And there was light. That is the A stands for allowing. There will always be darkness, there will always be difficult times, but the A is allowing. Evis is a spirit that allowed the light to come in and shine through him, through his interactions, through how he showed up, how he chose to represent the spiritual realm in this physical realm. So allowing is something that I think about with my cousin. He allowed this light to permeate the very essence of who he is. I want to also say that I am very proud to be connected in terms of family lineage to Evis on a side of my family that's just extremely powerful spiritually. So it is quite fitting that Evis is connected to me in that powerful lineage, that powerful thread of spiritual powerhouses. And so his allowing is a high level of intelligence that as an educator I must give voice to in this moment. The B in the Love Lab, or the Lab of Light of Evis, stands for bravery. Evis was brave. We have heard that Evis is calm. Evis is meek. He is centered. But I need to really bring attention to the courage and it takes and the bravery that's required for one to be meek, for one to be centered, for one to be calm in the midst of storms, the way that Evis is. There is nothing meek about Evis Robinson spiritually. He is a spiritual warrior. To show up as a calm being and a calm spirit in the midst of turmoil is nothing but sheer power. It is reflective of a person that is connected to his and her own light, who understands and allows the light of the Most High, and who knows not only who he is, but whose he is. That is my cousin. He is brave. He is courageous. His legacy is that to remind us, be the light, to allow the light, because we have a choice. There is darkness, but are we letting the light come through in us? That is my cousin's legacy. We should think about Evis and think about how much we're allowing. Allowing requires trust as well as bravery and courage. It is not easy to be calm. And I will not allow for us to characterize someone as mild without highlighting the power that's required in that engine in order to be calm. So, and this is beyond a personality trait of calmness. This is a spiritual power that we have had the benefit of when interactive. That means you're going to be peace in the midst of a storm for so many people, as we've heard today. That is not for the faint of heart. That is the work of a spiritual warrior, and I am thankful that Evis let there be light in his life, in his family relationships, in his friendships, in his work, in all that he did, and the way that he did it. If I have another battery left, I would like to end with a scripture from Genesis chapter 1 that we all know of. The scripture says, "In the beginning, God created heaven and earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, 'Let there be light.' And there was light." Thank you, Evis Robinson, for your work. Thank everybody for being here today. We are here for actual gentle giant. It's like she was very, very powerful within, even though he had that calm attitude. But I'd like to say to you that he was the most courageous person I ever knew. And for myself, knowing who I am and whose I am, I had a destination and I still have a destination. And his divine meaning of me was divine. And our coming together was so ministered and so in the plan of the Most High. And I know that now, even more so, because you don't come together with someone and family or friends in this manner that we did. And the time when we were spending together a lot was already a walk in destiny. And as you all probably know, other than ministry within Evis Robinson, he was a very brilliant man in the mind. He was a chess player as well, and he knew sometimes 9 or 10 moves before the other person could even come forward. That's a very talented given to him. But with that being said, he played chess in life too. And I realized this at this time. I was chosen by him or pursued by him because he knew, and I was one of his chess pieces. Seriously. He knew that I would have a certain strength and perform. When he pulls out his rooks and knights and all that, he would have a move for you. And he would bring out his queen piece. And your game was over. And as a female, I've been really totally rocked being the woman in his life. But I know why he chose me. And he is a very deep brother. And we are, as a female, just as you know, in the beginning, Adam and Eve, when he created Eve,